in this evening's meeting. If you would like to address the board on any of the items that are actionable that we'll be voting on tonight, there are forms at this podium. If you fill a form out very quick and easy, return it to the board table, and we'll be happy to call you up before we make any action on any items. And then at the end of the meeting, there will be an opportunity if anyone would like to speak to the board on anything that you would like to address. So we'll let you know about that as we get there. There are forms for that here as well by Attorney Elwood. And again, we just return them to the board table. Pretty simple process, and we'd be happy to hear you. So all board members were provided background information to the various items on the agenda in preparation for tonight's meeting. Our meeting is being live streamed, so hello to all those who are watching it via the internet. So to begin tonight's meeting, we have a presentation by Principal Lesage from South Haven School.
Test 1, 2. Right. So, welcome, board. Thanks for first of all, thanks for me getting to come back. For those who don't know me, I'm Dave Lesage. I was here about 12 years ago and left for a while. As far as went to data and IT, and I got to come back when Mr. Masico decided to go elsewhere. And I ran to Dr. Alanez and said, "Yes, I need to go," and she said, "Yes, you do." So I was excited. So one of the things we met. And at UC South Haven, it's all about tradition. Talking with the teachers before I came in, there were some things that they told me, and I sort of took them to heart. First of all, if I can make one person laugh long enough, I forget the problem, then my day was not wasted. Real simple. We had lost the laughter with kids. That was the one thing they said. We miss people in the building. So you're going to see a big theme here this year. That's a very important thing. The best teacher in the world is somebody who loves what he or she does and loves it in front of you. I haven't really pushed a lot of test scores, haven't pushed a lot of a curriculum. We're doing it all, but that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on our kids. So we are focusing on level 1 HRS, which is a safe and collaborative culture. Okay, so just some many hands, just some things that we started when we got here. Of course, knowing me, technology committee came back. We are working on technology. We have 3 people that sort of run that show, making sure that our teachers have everything they need. We have a data committee that focuses purely on data. Our RTI and MTS committees, our reading committee, that has expanded from 3 of us to about 8 of us now. Very excited about working on Benchmark, tearing it apart, understanding it a lot better, the phonics. Our safety committee, our site-based team leaders, PLCs, moved the PLCs around a little bit when I got here. We have Title I and Connie Melton, our homeschool advisor, who sort of float between where they need them, and that works real well. As you know, our PTO, outstanding, working with us. And then we started a student advisory board this year. So that was a picture of our kids meeting from 3rd, 4th, and 5th, sort of giving us some direction. Their first job was to pick out the school pictures for the yearbook. Just to give you a little thing, as we said, focused on the kids. Open house. We had over 213 students were represented at our open house. So we opened up the front door, and they were lined up all the way past the gym. As you can tell, our parking lot's not full. There's not a lot of space. They made space. I had parents everywhere, parked on grass, parked on the back street. We had people parked at the church coming over. They were all coming just to come back and enjoy. And Connie actually and I were sitting at the front, and she goes, "The laughter is back." And that's what was really exciting. So we do that. Our first lunch in the cafeteria. These are our kindergartners. They were excited, but you'll notice none of the COVID stuff is up. We're working on it. We have 4 kids to a table, still following some protocols, but also the smiles on their faces that they're in the cafeteria working again because they were eating in their classrooms. Fourth and fifth grade cross-country meet came back this year. So there's some pictures there. We were real excited. We had a good group coming. This was the first year that we had to have the parents take them. We normally run transportation, but with the new route. So we were a little nervous about numbers coming down, and actually we had a great turnout with our kids and parents. Grandparents' Day. We had over 300 grandparents visit during the day. Now, 300 grandparents that went through Raptor Wear. Suzanne Johnson, our secretary, is a saint. I wanted to put these three pictures up there. You see we're very diverse, but Kelsey in the middle actually was my first custodian when I started here 26 years ago at Chrisman, and her granddaughter's here. And then Miss Kelly actually took in, we just had some kids who just needed a little bit extra help, and our kids just sort of went as their, quote, adopted grandparents. It was a really good day. We brought back the Halloween parade. It has been a tradition here at South Haven for many years that we do the parade. And if you dress up, you dress up. If you don't, it's okay. Our parents come in and sit in the cafeteria. They sit there to watch. What I want you to see in those pictures is that we had from kindergarten through adults dress up that day. I was not one of them. I wore my Halloween tie. But again, kids were very involved. The kids that did not celebrate Halloween, they did some fun stuff with us in the office because we just, we want to make sure we're celebrating with the kids. Also, that night, the following, was that Friday, wasn't it? Friday. We had this is the first PTO/Title I partnership event. So for 3 weeks, we had collected candy? 4 weeks? So for 3 weeks we had collected candy, and the grade level that collected, or the class that graded the most poundage, got to slime me. So you guys probably saw that on Facebook. I got slimed up on the stage. But we had over 532 parents and students represented that night for Friday. Indoor trick-or-treating, Title I book walk, but we opened it up to the community. Now what was really nice was Sailor was doing their activity, and Boys and Girls Club was doing their activity. So we had kids from a course here. We had kids that were homeschooled, so I got to connect with some parents that now may think about coming back. We talked to some nativity parents as well as some Portage, one more private school. So it was really nice to touch base with the community. But we had a great night that night, and if you want to see what 650 pounds of candy looks like, those are the pictures right there. 650 pounds of candy we handed out that night. Great time. So, and we ran out. So that's how many people we had. Veterans Day program, just wanted to let you know we brought that back as well. Our veterans were thrilled. That was the one thing we heard. They came up and they were honored, and we had about 32 veterans here that day, which was great. Again, all our kids contributed. We had it on the Thursday before Veterans Day, so we had a lot of people come. It was really nice. Now a little history here. If you remember back in 2014-15, that's me in a dunk tank. We talked about AR, and Title I and I discussed this, and we're like, Dave, you need to bring the AR back. And I'm like, okay, how are we going to bring the AR back? As in getting these kids to read. When I left in 2014-15, we had put out a very large goal. And we were reading literature in the classroom, and then we were also doing our AR. So the kids had a little bit more real literature. So now we have Benchmark, we have a guided curriculum, and our kids are reading AR, but we're trying to get them to read more. Because a lot of the kids have I said, maybe backed off on their reading over the years, especially since they were at home with COVID. So they said, let's bring back the dunk tank. So the dunk tank's coming back this year. We haven't put a goal out there yet, but we are working on it. So, but I just wanted to show you some AR numbers from the year before, 21-22. There are some numbers there, and then from 22 to 23, how much more our kids have already read. A tremendous amount of number. So we read over 7 million words in Q1 already. So our kids are doing a great job. We're very thrilled for them. They're excited. And our Title I is very involved trying to get that up and running. So one of the other things we're working on as we focus on our kids is our attendance. And you see quarter one last year, we had several kids that were sick. Over 1,076 kids had absences, and we're down to 701. We still got a lot to do. Students, 168, now we have 211. So we had a lot of kids. We have more kids this year that have been out sick, but they've been out less. So you'll notice in 21-22, we had 20 kids that had 10 or more absences in quarter one. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. This year we have 7. I can live with that. So we're working on that. We hope the kids are excited to come to school. They run down the sidewalks in the morning, and I tell them to stop running, and then you're like, why? They're running to get to school. And then Dr. Stevens sends us an email, hey, skip down the hallway. And so we've had kids skipping down the hallway, and we're like, they're doing a great job. They're going to class. Let's get them there. So we're excited about that. So just some fun facts. We have Reading Buddy program, grades 1 and 2. We had 20 students that were served with a mobile dentist that came this year. My nurse set that up. We had 10 students that are involved in the Lunch Buddy program, where we have adults from what organization, that Connie? Okay, so we have 10 that are involved in that, which is exciting. We have 50-plus students that are involved in after-school clubs right now. And then we have Caught in Action, which is where our kids are, just doing above and beyond. And that's what we want them to do, is be a good citizen. And this is why we're South Haven Strong. Just a quick recap of what's going on since I've been back. I'm excited. I think my staff, they've been working their tail off for me, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, don't run away, because we might have questions for you. You never know. But I just want to say thank you. Obviously, the enthusiasm and the presentation, there's so many exciting, fun things going on for our kids here. What a great community you have here. You have obviously an awesome PTO group here that contributes to the schools, and should be very proud of everything that's going on here. So thank you for that presentation tonight. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Lessig?
I don't have a question, but I have a couple comments. You mentioned that they're excited to come to school, and I could see why, because of all of the wonderful things that are going on. I really like that student advisory board where students are able to have some input on some of the decisions that really affect them. And of course, they're excited because they feel safe. If you have a safe and orderly building, a school, they're going to feel safe and learn more. And so I applaud you and your staff and your PTO for all of their efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you. So I know a lot of you were here for the playground dedication and for this presentation. If you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, don't feel like you have to. We'd love to keep you, have you stay, but don't feel like you have to, so feel free. If you need to leave or would like to leave, you won't hurt our feelings.
Can I mention just one thing?
Yes, please.
One thing I want to mention, and just before he walks out, as he's trying to, I want to thank Township Trustee Brendan Clancy for aiding our PTO in making that playground possible. So thank you to you and your work as well.
Okay, we'll move on to the regular portion of our meeting. Are there any adjustments to the agenda by the board? Okay, also, I probably for the record should mention that both Trustee Williams and Trustee Finley are not present this evening, where they were unable to be here tonight. So we still have a quorum, so we'll be able to continue to conduct the business as usual. We'll begin with our superintendent's consent agenda, which has got the personnel report for November the 28th, a donations and claims report, as well as facility use request report. Do we have a motion to approve the superintendent's consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
We have the motion, we have a second. Any discussion? I see a form coming. Is that for an agenda item, Mr. Elwood, or is that for later?
No, it is for later.
Okay, great, thank you. Can you call the roll, please?
Member Maleta?
Yes.
Member Vasquez?
Yes,
Member Wilkie, yes.
Next, we have our board's consent agenda, which is the minutes of our discussion meeting on November 14th and the minutes of our public work session of November the 14th. Do we have a motion to approve the board's consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
second.
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd like to add that during our work session, we are interested in having Mr. Horton from the Indiana State School Board Association meet with us. We want to get acquainted with him and work with strategic planning so that the district knows, we know how important it is to learn and grow together as a board. So during that session, we also talked about the role of the school board president to ensure that we have communication between us, the superintendent, and it's an area that we're going to continue to focus on. And throughout that discussion and looking at the information that we learned during the Indiana State School Board Association conference, we noted that our president, Maleta, is doing a great job. So, we talked about that. Another area of great interest was how our district can support and mentor students in need. There's a program called the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We had a great discussion, and we want to create plans to have opportunities so that we could learn and grow and make a positive impact on our students. So that was more or less what we discussed during our meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just note that Steve Horton from the Indiana School Board Association was supposed to be with us this evening to talk about that strategic planning, but due to the fact that we had some last-minute cancellations between board members and Dr. Alanez, that we decided to postpone that. So we'll get another date set for that to do at a public work session, which again, the public is invited to attend to hear it as well as we do of the plan for us on our strategic planning. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Member Vasquez?
Yes.
Member Wilkie, yes. Member Maleta?
Yes. Are there any board development or committee reports?
I have just two brief reports. The food pantry did not meet this month, and so I will be providing an update after we meet in December. The Education Foundation Board met on November the 15th, and the board thanks all who sold and purchased the Major Saver fundraising cards, and those profits will help to fund the grants for our schools and provide our students with additional opportunities with learning and challenging and exciting projects.
Thank you.
Those are my reports.
Any other reports? Okay. We do not have any old business. Under new business, we have the approval of the MOU between the Portage Township and the Portage Township Schools for the South Haven Elementary Playground. This MOU is for the playground equipment donation of $80,574 by the Portage Township Trustee's Office to be used for the South Haven Elementary School Inclusive Library, or not library, playground. And unfortunately, Mr. Clancy left with the rest of them, so thank you, Mr. Stevens, for calling him out before he left. Do we have a motion to approve this MOU?
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd like to make mention of the fact that there are so many benefits of inclusive and accessible playgrounds. As we know, children want to play, and we also know that play is essential in childhood, during childhood. The United Nations High Commission for Human Rights declared it as every child's right. Playgrounds should be for all kids of all abilities, and their communities can come together to make connections and enjoy shared experiences. It also promotes visibility, acceptance, and understanding of those who experience different challenges in their day-to-day lives. This is truly what all children deserve. So I'm very proud and happy that this is now a reality for our students.
Thank you. Yeah, and as you know, anytime a project of that magnitude takes place, it takes a community to do that, to raise the funds for that, to get that done. And again, I'd like to recognize the South Haven Elementary parents that got together, and obviously there was somebody who was in there driving that, and I think I'm looking at a couple of them right there, that did that. And, you know, it's quite an accomplishment and something you should be proud of, and we certainly are proud of you and your group for being instrumental in pushing that project and then bringing in those other partners to make it happen, so thank you. Call the roll, please.
Member Wilkie, yes. Member Mileta?
Yes.
Member Vasquez?
Yes.
Next, we have our consideration and approval of a premium paid holiday. Dr. Stevens, would you like to explain that, please?
Absolutely. In this case, this means that Portage Township Schools will cover the employee portion of their medical premium for the last pay in December, and remit that payment to the self-insurance fund. Just want to let you know that the total cost of that will be about $30,000 to $35,000, but it will not affect the self-insurance fund at all. We felt like we have been the beneficiaries of good interest rates of late, and we wanted to share that with the people that helped make this possible.
Very good, thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the premium paid holiday?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Do you have a motion, a second, any discussion?
I just want to say that that's another way, it's just a small token of how we appreciate the service of our staff, how they work with children on a daily basis and provide them with not only academics, but with love and attention and all the support that they need.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We'll call roll, please.
Member Mileta?
Yes.
Member Vasquez?
Yes.
Member Wilkie, yes.
Next, we have the consideration and approval of an inflation stipend for all support staff.
Again, this is a $250 stipend for all support staff, the various groups. The stipulations are that the employees must have been employed by PTS by September 30th of 2022, and still in good standing as of December 17th, so still coming. This will be paid on the last pay of December. This will affect over 400 employees, a cost of about $100,000. But again, we were the beneficiaries of some energy savings rebates, and again, we wanted to share those with the people that helped make that possible.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the inflation stipend for all support staff?
I make a motion to approve the inflation stipend for all support staff.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. I'd like to just say, you know, a small token of our appreciation for all those who work hard day in and day out. You know, we certainly recognize the work that you do all the time, but certainly in these last couple of years, what everyone's gone through and how hard everybody's worked to make the school experience great for our students and our kids. And again, we had some savings, and there was no better way for us to use those savings than to give it back to those hardworking employees. So it's as a thank you, and again, just a small token from the board and the administration to those employees. Any other discussion or comments?
I'd just like to add that those individuals would be administrative professionals, maintenance, behavior specialists, clerical assistants, custodians and custodial managers, food service managers, IT and IT specialists, mechanics, nurses, bus drivers, school treasurers, school advisors, and social workers. And as we call them, support, they always support the rest of the staff, and they support students on a daily basis. We thank them for everything that they do. Appreciate them.
Thank you. Any other comments? We call roll, please.
Member Vasquez?
Yes.
Member Wilkie, yes. Member Mileta?
Yes. Next, we have the approval of the 2022-2023 compensation considerations.
The attached considerations were reviewed and approved by Dr. Alanez, and she would like to promote that with the school board.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the 2022-2023 compensation considerations?
Make a motion to approve?
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
again, we appreciate all the hard work of being a retired administrator. The days are not only Monday through Friday, weekends, long hours. Our administrators lead the building educationally, academically, also social, emotional, and they do everything, you know, and so we just want to make sure that we recruit individuals that want to come to our district and retain them,
Thank you.
and we say thank you to them.
And this grouping includes our administrators, our dean of students, attendance officers, restorative practice instructor, and behavior intervenist. So again, thank you for all your hard work. We have a great administrative team here at Portage Township Schools, and very well deserving of this compensation. Any other discussion? You call a roll, please.
Member Wilkie, yes. Member Maleta?
Yes.
Member Vasquez?
Yes,
Next up, we have our consideration to approve the sale of property.
We currently have several out-of-service vehicles that in order to sell, we'd like to put up through the Indiana State approved auction process. There's no cost to the district to advertise these items, but the buyer pays a 9% fee to the site. Proceeds will go to the operations fund by statute. In addition to some of our own maintenance vehicles, we also have one, I believe it's a Pontiac Vibe, that was donated to our automotives group. They repaired it completely and are now offering that through that auction as well.
Very good, thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the sale of property?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
This motion is second. Any discussion?
So if someone is interested in, let's say, a 2004 to 2001 Chevy box truck, I don't know what all of these are, but they
Looking for a
seem
box
like they're really 1994 Chevy box truck, 2004 cargo van. How do they contact, or how do they find out the dates and the location?
Do you mind if I pass this off to Nick Grahn, because he's the one that's going to coordinate that?
Would you come up, please, Nick?
There's even a dump truck.
Where's your White Sox hat?
Back there. We will be advertising through the Indiana-approved methods. Will be on the website, and we'll notify through that. We'll be notifying through Parent Square with Melissa DiRosawi as well. So we'll get the word out so that we can get the word out to as many people as possible, so that we can make sure that we can sell these vehicles successfully and get them off our lot.
Do you have a ballpark figure about how much, let's say, a van would cost, 2004?
It'll depend on the van and the condition it's in and the mileage. That'll all be listed on the site, and we'll list the prices, the starting bids as well on our website.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? Call a roll, please.
Member Maleta?
Yes.
Member Vasquez?
Yes,
Member Wilkie, yes.
Okay, next up, we have our superintendent reports and updates.
I don't know that I have a lot of insight to give you, since I was put on the spot to be here in this seat tonight. I do want to remind everybody that our winter athletics are in full swing now, so please come out and support our students in those manners, as well as our band, choir, dance, all of the different extracurriculars that you can come out and be supportive of our kids. Want to thank especially our South Haven PTO, but all of our PTOs across our whole district. Anytime we can partner with our families in a positive manner, we're excited to do that. And I want to thank I almost called you Dr. Lesich. I promoted you today. Mr. Lesich on stepping up to this building's challenges and their excitement. Mr. Masico had done a fine job following Mr. Lesich. Now, again, when we knew that we were going to have that opening Dr. Alanes knew right away that she wanted to talk to Dave about that possibility. He seemed excited about doing that too. I was fortunate enough to introduce him to the staff when we did name that option, and they applauded immediately, and that doesn't always happen when I've introduced a new principal. So I'm really happy that the excitement is positive here at South Haven Elementary. Glad that we can help further that by putting some of the new options out there for our community. The best thing that, like I said, when I last spoke out there is it's up to the children to take care of it now. And that's not just our elementary kids, but our middle school and high school kids that may come through this area, but please take care of it. We're blessed to have that option and that opportunity, so I really hope that our communities take that to heart and take care of it, so that the next generation of kids can enjoy those same kind of things. I don't know that I have anything else
I have a question
bring.
about that.
Sure.
Do we have cameras?
We do, and is Matt, we have cameras that were on the exterior. We are in a constant, I can't tell you exactly, because we're in a constant process of kind of renewing and updating those. So I don't know if those are the most up-to-date ones, but we do have exterior cameras on all of our buildings.
Great. Any questions for Dr. Stevens before we move on? Good job filling in.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Okay. Are there any other items not on the agenda that the board would like to bring up? If not, I believe we did get a public comment form. So, Mr. Elwood?
We did. Jason?
Yeah, please come up to the podium, please.
Doing all this extra stuff, but I just have a lot of problems with the school board and the whole entity in general. Dress codes. We got inappropriate dress code going on in high school and middle schools. We got female individuals wearing shorts that are way too short. Not appropriate. Can't say it. I have a daughter as well, if I catch her wearing that, she'd be in a lot of trouble. Communication between all departments. For example, today, my kids ride bus 99 home. Look at the bus garage app that we pay for, us, the community, we all pay for that. Our tax dollars pay for that. Bus 99 is in the garage, it's not on the road. Call the bus depot, where's my kids at? Oh, they're on different buses. We got Parent Square, we have emails, we have text, we have all call, we have all these options to use. Why are we not using them? Well, they tell me it's on the school to do that, not on them. So I called the school. Bus depot told me bus 4 or something like that kids were on. Call the school. They said they told the school earlier this morning that the bus was changed. Call the school about it, go back and forth, finally get Miss Solar on the phone, and she tells me pretty much that, no, they just got updated on 115 today, the bus was being changed. And the bus department was supposed to send the information out, but Parent Square and everything else. So both departments are passing the buck between each other, no one's taking accountability for it. And that's a problem, because from what I know, you're the school board lawyer, so kids are responsible, you guys are responsible for kids from the time they leave my doorstep until the time they return to my doorstep. So if I look on the app and see the bus is not moving, not going, if I say, my kids, I go to school, pick them up, they're not there, now what? Where's my kids? That's a big issue. I think it's a safety issue on top of that. It's been going on all year. And when you call the bus depot, you don't get answers. You get runarounds nonstop. You get attitude from the bus director. That's not the way it's supposed to be handled. We have these options, we have these programs in place, we have these software, we have all these extra pieces we've added to the puzzle to make this better for everybody. Why are we not using them? Simple question, why are we not using them? Then we have a problem with IEPs. Parent asks for stuff with IEPs, we have to fight for it. I don't know if you guys know about this or not, we have to actually fight for anything we want for our kids' IEPs. It's not following what the law says, it's not following what the guideline says, it's a fight. 3 of my kids have IEPs. I have to fight for everything that they are supposed to have, or supposed to be entitled to. We have to fight with the coordinator to get it. I don't know if you guys know me or not, I know you know me. I had a son who passed away a couple years ago, Sean Westerman. He had an IEP. We had to literally fight for everything for him. He had skeletal muscle disease stuff, so something hard for him to write. We had to fight with the coordinator just to get it where he had a scribe, which was allowed by law for anything he had to do. With a lot of the elementary, when we went to middle school, we had to fight for it. They fought left and right about it. Now I have 3 kids that have IEPs as well that I don't have problems with where we got to fight for stuff. I'm not the only parent having coordinators not doing what they're supposed to be doing, not following the law, not following the guidelines, not doing what they're required to do for the students, I think it's a problem, and no one's bringing light to this. This is, you guys are supposed to be here for the kids, that's what the purpose is. Make things better for the kids, help the kids, get them to the future, where we need to be. I don't see that happening in some places. And no one's addressing it, I don't know why. So that's what I want to bring up, and then also, I got a letter recently about financial stuff. I own a computer company in Portage, I have an IT company. I got a bill the other day that said each one of my kids are getting billed $20 a piece for iPad charger for the cord, and $20 a piece for the iPad charger outlet piece. I know the cost of those. Now, out of the 4 kids that got this, one of my kids got a bill that said 15 and 15, so his charger was like $30 for it. What I don't understand is if we, the parents, return all this at the end of the year, why are we still getting billed for it? Because we don't get a refund of that. We still got charged for those chargers, even though we turn them back at the end of the year. And I believe Portage High School, middle school, elementary school, and all the schools, you guys are still claiming that income coming in. Why are the parents being charged that they're returning this stuff? That's what I got put up.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for bringing those concerns to us. Dr. Stevens, would you please
Absolutely.
follow up on those
Certainly.
items?
Sure will.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
No, that's it.
Okay. So our next meeting will be December the 12th at 5 p.m. And again, our scheduled public work session this evening, we'll postpone that until December the 12th. So can you, thank you, Cindy. And before we close, I did want to just say thank you. You know, when we take these board meetings on the road, and Mr. Lessig, thank you for your hospitality. Our folks at the IT, Cindy and the folks at the IT, you kind of sometimes take it for granted, the hard work that they put in on setting this up. It's a lot easier to do it when it's in the administration building and everything's there. So thank you for your hard work and helping us out here this evening. And I know I speak for the board. We enjoy being out into the buildings. We enjoy hearing from parents. We don't know things unless we hear it, and so we appreciate that. And once again, thank you, South Haven Elementary. Congratulations on your new playground and all your hard work. If anybody have anything else this evening?
Thank you for the popcorn.
And the popcorn. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.